trying to watch our thoughts, then we can actually be quite drastically mitigating our capacity for the meditation. Good evening. So let's chat a little bit here about watching the thoughts in meditation. And through this, we can begin to learn about and distinguish layers of identity. So when we begin a meditative practice, whatever the object of the meditation is, we will be distracted by thoughts coming through. And as we hone into that object, the thoughts will very often start to subside. Now, then we'll hit a point where we go, okay, no more thoughts, I've got it. I've mastered this meditation thing. And then you break through that and you realize inside that stillness, there's a plethora, there's just a whole host of thoughts that still exist, a movement of activity, all this stuff that's going on. We thought it was still, but suddenly we went deeper. Through our increased concentration and observation, it strengthened that magnifying glass, and suddenly we can observe so much more. And then we continue to observe those movements of energy that may present in the form of thoughts, and then those start to subside. And then you go through this process, I've got it, it's still, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually you get to a point where it's almost like a black hole that sucked the awareness in, that sucked the attention in. And it's no longer difficult. You are held there in that space, in that attention, in that concentration. And from there, there's another whole host of experiences that start to arise. It becomes easy at that point to stay within the meditation. So, layers of identity. You typically, what we will do is we'll identify with each layer of thought prior to becoming aware of it. Then we become aware of this new layer of activity. Because we are aware of it, we can then observe how we are acting based on it and free ourselves from that. So very often what people will look at with meditation, will look at things like, okay, I need to not think. I need to be totally still, quiet, no movement of the mind. And this is true, but there's a big process to get here. To get to that place. And there are many layers of identity that we have to work our way through. Once we free ourselves of each layer of identity, we are then capable and able to go deeper and deeper into that meditation. Okay, and now when we look at something like these layers of identity, this is actually where we get the dissolution of the distractions of the thought forms, is we no longer identify at the layer of the thought form, okay, whatever that is. We start to realize that we're not watching the formed thoughts. That's at the end of the chain. You start going deeper and deeper and deeper, further back, further back, further back, until you get to a type of source, a source of the thought, well before you reach the end form where it's a finished thought. There's a whole host of stuff going on way back down the chain. And this is what allows us to not have to contend with this big thing of thoughts in the meditation. And I'm thinking blah, blah, blah. That's only an issue if that's the layer of identity that you are stuck at. As you progress, you just become the space well below, well beyond those formed thoughts. Well beyond, I guess, is a good way to describe it. You're far more expansive and free. So you don't have to contend with those forms. They don't even have an opportunity to arise. You're existing at a different place. Okay, so this is a big part of the process of development with meditation, is coming to realize that where you exist from, what you touch with the mind grows. If we are watching the thoughts and we're touching the thought forms with the mind all the time because we're trying to watch our thoughts, then we can actually be quite drastically mitigating our capacity for the meditation, because we're stuck at that space. We're feeding those thought forms with our attention. Okay, what you touch with the mind grows. So through this process, you learn to touch more and more still substances and aspects of reality in ourselves. that are well beneath that. Once you hit that, easy peasy, and then a whole bunch of other things crop up, which can present, of course, further issues and things to work through, and it's a constant process of development and evolution within the path. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for your time.